Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. I have not heard from Rosie, who usually will let me know if she's not going to be here. So she may join in later. If not, I got a couple of great guests here tonight. I got Red October and TRprepper. You may have seen my video earlier tonight where Com sent me a poster of the AK-47 layout deal. I can't say enough about the friends I made on YouTube. And anyway, with that, let me let TRprepper do an intro.
Well, once again, TR, thank you for inviting me. Glad I can get in here, and thanks for everybody in the side chat. Enjoy the poster. It's better with a AK owner than sitting here in the ham radio shack, so enjoy. One day I'll have an AK, but I don't have one right now.
Well, maybe one day. If not, it don't matter. Red October, what's up, brother?
Hey, brother, how you doing? Welcome, panel, and everybody out there. I got the laptop up, so I'm gonna try to keep up with the comments. Thanks for the invite, TR. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being on here, Red. I know I probably catch you off guard with the times I'm online here, and you're one of those YouTubers that's kind of just starting out, and I like what you're doing, and that's why I invited you to this chat, because I want you to be part of it when you can. It's not an obligation. And I just I enjoy your videos. I enjoyed the content of your videos, and wanted you to be part of this, and glad you can join when you can. That's all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Because believe it or not, we're all just a bunch of average guys. Some people come to my channel and they're like, "Oh, TRprepper, he's this and this and it." No, I'm just a guy.
I feel the same way. I was thinking about the whole YouTube crowd, and I was thinking about how it's everybody has their own personality, everybody has their own style of doing videos, and it's really good how we can all come together through YouTube. So I enjoy all the channels.
What Hidden's trying to make a challenge out there. But anyway, just like TRprepper. I mean, as I said in my video earlier today, me and him started probably about the same time. I mean, he's got a lot better content than me and blew up a lot more than me and got a lot more subs, and that's cool as shit. But the fact is, me and Coms are friends from YouTube, and that's the thing. You can become friends with so many people with so much information that YouTube is a awesome social media platform, and I'm just thankful I can be part of it.
Yeah. Coms, I don't know if I met you or not, but hello.
Yeah. Hi. Name is also Hank. You can use that too.
Hank.
Yeah. I don't think my channel's anything special. I mean, really, when I started this channel, it was I started building this cabin in the mountains of West Virginia and kind of got into looking up videos of how to do solar and rainwater, and I didn't really know what this prepping thing was, but you can't look those topics up without stumbling across this concept. And I was like, oh shit, what I do has a name. And started subbing all these channels, and you had guys doing, there's plenty of gun guys, plenty of politic guys doing medical, animal husbandry, gardening, canning, and I said, there's nobody really doing a communications piece. I mean, a lot of people just saying, I'm going to get a ham radio. I said, you know what? I know something about some radios. Maybe I should start something on radios. And I probably had the channel 6 months, and out of the blue, I got a shout out from Southern Prepper 1, unsolicited. And my sub count doubled, and it's grown pretty steadily over the last 4.5 years. But I don't often go off topic, although I did this past weekend and made a whole lot of friends. But typically, I stick to the communications piece. I mean, I went way off topic this weekend at the request of TR and Blue.
Yeah, I saw. I caught that chat, and you were talking about the radios quite a bit. So, did you get some backlash on that?
Yeah, people aren't too happy when I told them that these Chinese radios are bad radios, and shot 2 of them on my channel. Apparently, that upset some people. I was just trying to convey what I really thought about them.
Yeah, well, you can't please them all. You know, everybody has a channel that suits them. But, hey, Rosie.
Hey, let me just turn this down. Getting all kinds of problems tonight.
That's okay, Rosie. I knew you was going to try to get in because you didn't text me and tell me you wasn't going to be here. Whenever you get your stuff organized, you just jump in and.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Rosie. This is Hank, Comms Prepper.
Comms, nice to see you.
Likewise.
Okay, there we go.
Before we get started, TR, can you tell us your boot story? I was going to ask you to share it with everyone. I did a video about just some boots and stuff, and then you had made a comment about why you don't wear cowboy boots anymore.
Because I got jumped on. I got jumped on back in the 80s by 2 guys. 2 guys come after me. This was just fist and cuss. You know, I mean, no guns, no knives. 2 guys jumped on me, and I was in a yard, grass, with cowboy boots on, and I was trying to fight off 2 guys with my fist with boots on. I ended up on the ground. One guy actually stopped the fight. I mean, he stopped fighting me, and it was just me and the other guy. And I'll say it was a draw. But after that, I swore I would never, ever wear cowboy boots again because I could not get my footing for shit. And I'm fighting 2 guys at one time. I mean, 2 guys were throwing fists at me, and I'm sliding all over the place. And I said, okay, once it was all done, I was like, I'm never wearing cowboy boots again because I can't hold my footing. I can't hold my ground. And
who was cheating with you?
Nobody was cheating. I mean, it was a traffic incident that these guys thought that I was screwing around with them, whatever, but it wasn't. They got the wrong impression, and they came after me. I mean, I was driving 100 miles an hour down a major highway in a 1985 Mustang GT, hoping and praying that the police would find us, and they didn't. I shot down this highway. These guys were after me. I had my girlfriend with me, which later became my wife. So, you know, it was you know, I'm worried about her. I'm worried about me. Anyway, we ended up stopping, and I went, you know, hand to hand with 2 guys at one time, held my own, and but I was slip sliding all over the damn place with those boots on, and that's the last time. I had some snake skin boots, red, just in case you want to know, python boots. And that's the last time I ever wore boots. And that was in probably like freaking 85 or something like that.
What do you wish you'd been wearing?
I wish I was wearing the boots I wear now, like, you know, have some grip on them so I could dig in and go back at them. They were pushing me back. I mean, I couldn't hold my ground because I was sliding on the grass. It was raining, and I was on grass with cowboy boots, and there was no grip. I was just sliding around. It was nasty, but luckily, even with that, I was able to hold my own good enough to come to a draw.
So that was a good story.
I'm not against cowboy boots, because some of the boots you showed in your video, Red, they got grip on them, but the ones I had were like, they were just slick. They were just leather slick bottoms, and that don't work on wet grass.
Yeah, I'm more into the work type style of boot where they got some grip on them, and then you got your dancing boots where it's just real slick for, I guess, the dance floor. But yeah, to each their own, I guess. So
yeah.
Hey, a question for you, Rosie. Do you restore old stereos and receivers and amplifiers?
Yeah, if you just look here, you can see there's what I call my wall of sound up there, and that has probably 40, maybe 25 units there, and then I have what I call the wall of amplitude back here. Some of the Donico's tube stuff.
I got a wooden box packed with different tubes for stereos and TVs back here in the crawl space. Little RCA tubes in a box, nice wooden box. If you want them, you can have them, because I'm never going to use them.
Well, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd definitely pay the shipping on that. It's not cheap. That would be great.
Not a problem. But once I dig them out, because I just keep moving them around, because I'm never going to use them.
And then behind me, I have the probably enjoy the Motorola, the 1960 tube stereo console there that I just finished restoring, and did a vintage audio spotlight on that last week. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
With record player.
It has the Voice of Music in it, VOM, from up in Michigan, Benton Harbor, Michigan. They were the big suppliers for a lot of the big units back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. This is a Motorola. The general unit, though, is a Motorola.
And I got an old Eco O-scope packed with tubes, if you want that one too. Yeah. It's actually in my last radio video.
Oh, all right. Sounds cool. I'm definitely interested in the tubes. I mean, that would be great. I definitely pay the shipping, just PayPal you whatever it costs to.
All right, I'll get with you offline, and I'll get it done.
Okay, that would be great. That'd really be appreciated, because that's probably new old stock NOS stuff. So good stuff.
I bought it at a yard sale here like 2 years ago, going, oh shit, cool tubes. They don't make these anymore. And I had big plans of just hooking them up and lighting up the heater elements like as little glow lights to look cool. Yeah, it never happened.
Yeah, I'm working on a 1959 Pioneer, just right on the dawn of stereo, broadcast stereo. That thing runs so hot you could really cook hot dogs on the top. Those output tubes are so hot you could almost cook hot dogs on them.
It's not electronics if it doesn't dim the lights.
That's right.
Hey Rosie, I know you always start off the chat with finances and stuff, but what do you think about Trump being in the news daily, and how that impacts the economy? I mean, it's just like every day I look at the news, it's like just always something complaining about him. But I wonder if it's going to slow down, but I don't know.
What's really cool, Red, is we're getting exactly what we wanted. We're getting a president that actually goes in there, and in the first 2 weeks is literally attempting to get all things sort of underway, executive orders. He'll probably next week tackle preliminary tax reform. I mean, he's got 6 or 7 committees working at one time with things. I'm really thrilled in a way, Red. Now the downside of that is expectations were very high amongst the business community. Things would get better. A lot of rules and regulations will be slashed. People think it just comes down to labor as a component of why a United States company would build a factory or not build a factory in the United States. The truth is, and he hit the nail on the head in this morning's briefing within the meeting he was having. you know, the regulation rules that you have to go through and the permitting process and the things that just make it almost impossible to open up a factory. So it doesn't all just come down to the cost of labor. It also comes down to a lot of our regulatory environment. And frankly, Red, you know, Obama didn't give a shit about what was going on with regulation. He could care less about the business side of this country. And now we got somebody in there that really cares a lot about it. And for me, it's kind of exciting because some people complain it's too much too fast, but maybe they're just actually seeing government in action. It's trying to get something done for the first time in their lifetime, if they're actually observing. Now, as far as things go on investments and things, I think the best is already built into what's going on right now. So my biggest fear is we have a little bit of backing and backsliding here on expectations. And the thing that bothers me, of course, and I guess that shouldn't be bothered, we have a court system, right? The third branch of government, right? And they're going to have a lot of say about which things stick and which things don't. So what do you think, Red? I think it's kind of refreshing to just see somebody in there that's just like a bull, just bulling through the bullshit, just going.
I agree. I think that, you know, you're never going to please everybody out there. But, you know, when I'm looking at the news and of course, you know, I have family members around me or on social media that's always bashing. I'm like, hey, you know what? You know, it's going to take someone like him to go in there and get some things done. And some things he's going to do, we're going to like, and some things, you know, we're probably not going to like. But I mean, change has to happen. And, you know, my response to any politicians out there, which I doubt they're, you know, listening to this channel, is get off your ass and do something. You know, get back to doing your job, because this is why this all happened, because people got fed up with the whole politics. They weren't doing their job. The choices out there, and this is the thing that gets me, is that I think most of us out there will say that Trump was not our first pick. But what, you know, what other choices do we have out there? There wasn't like there was A, B, or C. I mean, it was either Trump or Hillary. And I think most of us out there were not going to vote for Hillary. So, you know, it's either vote or don't vote. And, you know, the choices that were left out there are not my fault. It's, you know, the politicians did that. They created that mess.
I'm going to tell you, Red, that's what I learned on this chat, because I came on here, and TR will tell you, the last year before the election, and we're coming up on 2 years doing this chat in July, and I'll tell you, for the last year before that election, TR will tell you, I had serious doubts that Trump would be able to run the table and be elected. And I would ask people, why are you voting for Trump? And then it all came together at the end. And it's like I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting against Hillary. Don't you get it? That's what I'm voting for. So yes, we might not have gotten, like, I like Scott Walker in Wisconsin. I like his style. I'm a libertarian. My candidate was an idiot. I mean, we saw how that turned out. But I'm just saying, of course people are going to protest because they're in danger of being held accountable and actually having to provide or produce something to get benefits or get off of benefits. So it's very scary to people to face the prospect that maybe the gravy train has come to a halt.
Exactly.
And that's what I think freaks a lot of people out, that they're trying to appeal to the masses, and they're not getting a lot of pickup with a lot of the voters that voted. I mean, it's too late. The election's over.
It is, and you know, for them to keep whining about it and complaining about it, it's not going to change anything. But you're right. I think people get so they're scared now because they're like, well, the gravy train's over. What am I going to do? Am I going to get food stamps? And it's called get off your ass and get to work. And there's going to be innocent people on both sides. I get that. It's like casualties of war. There's always going to be that one family that, you know, you sympathize with. But the system's not going to please all sides. Something has to give. Change has to happen. And the only thing that I can say is in response to anyone that opposes Trump is, then fix it. Then change the system, because that's all we had left to vote on. It was either same old, or just something different. Let's see what the hell happens, you know?
Yeah, I just think somewhere along the line in the 1970s, we turned into this feel-good society where you're just everything's supposed to be happy all the time. If you don't want to get out of bed, if you feel a little sad, okay, you're probably depressed now. You know, we really didn't have that when I was growing up. There wasn't really such a thing, and there's not such a thing in China as that. But I'm saying you have that, you have sadness, and then there's people that play into that type of mentality, and it starts to grow its own industry of dependency on government. And I've seen it with the explosive growth of people that are on disability in their 20s, and sadly, mostly guys that fight to get on disability and things, and they're perfectly able and capable of working, but they'll drum up a million maladies and a million and just keep gaming and trying and trying and trying. Somewhere along the line, we just seem to have created this sort of feeling that, well, we're all supposed to be happy all the time, and there's not supposed to be any struggle for your daily bread, and we've removed that, and that's going to be very painful for people to come to the realization that somebody's not going to just put food on your table if you're able-bodied and capable of work and really vetted to that extreme. That's the thing that really bothers me, is that we created this like government's supposed to do these things for you, and it wasn't the case up until the 1960s and 70s. Nobody depended on government until the New Deal really came around in the 1930s, and then President Johnson, Lyndon Johnson, just exploded the what do you call it? The Great Society. We can have a great society with all of these programs and all these interventions, and it became a disaster. And we have multiple generations that are incapable of even understanding how to support themselves or move ahead or be relevant in an economy anymore.
I agree. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I agree, because I grew. I mean, I was born in the 70s, but I remember the 80s. You know, all the opportunities that the kids had in the late 90s, 2000s. You know, I didn't have them, and I think the difference in today or the last 10 years is that there's too many choices for them. They have 1 through 10 choices, where before it was like, you want this or that. You want water or soda. You know, you want a bologna sandwich or ham sandwich. There wasn't all these choices, and I think the kids, you know, they just live in a different mentality where I don't like that choice, that choice, that choice. You know, what else do you have out there? And the other thing is everybody going to college. I don't believe that that's the right mindset, because not everyone should go to college, because it's not for everybody. It doesn't mean just because, hey, we'll give you some money to go, you should go. There's a lot of other trades that you can learn, skills that you can learn and not go to college. But you know, that's that whole mentality.
We talked about that. We talked about over the last year and a half, how they closed down a lot of the programs, the vocational tech programs and things, because everybody should go to college. What a bunch of nonsense. So we probably lost a big generational base of machine. I mean, when I went to high school, even though I was going to college, you still took machine shop. You learned how to run an engine lathe. You took sheet metal shop. You took workshop, wood shop. You did hot metal shop, forging. Nowadays, what do you come out with? You come out with a cell phone and a rapid finger on the buttons and social media. And it's not going to be an economy that's going to favor people that don't have anything to offer in the way of productive output for an economy.
Hell, my old man drove me to a recruiter, said Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, pick one, but you're not coming home till you do.
Yep.
That was it.
Probably one of the best things that ever happened to you too, comms.
Yep. It wouldn't be comms. That was it. They made me a radio tech.
Well, I mean, if you wanted a car, that's great. That's great, son. Go ahead and put your pat on the back. That's awesome. You know, you can use a lawnmower if you want. Go see if you can make some money cutting grass, and awesome.
Yeah, even though I joined, and I was just a reservist. I joined as a reservist. It was like it was almost like a test. My dad kind of pushed me into the military for a test, even though he knew I joined reserves and he was cool with that. It was just like, I go through boot camp, be a man, you know.
I don't want to be confused. My point, Gimp, was that I didn't think everybody should go to college. I thought traditionally maybe half the people went to college or something like that, and the rest of the people learned a really good, useful thing that they could framing or building trades and things like that. No, I think way too many people went to college. It exploded the base. It exploded the numbers going to college. It grew the college industry. And just then the government gets into it, decides to try to make it more affordable, and then it's game on. And then it became a disaster for everybody basically in the system to try to even afford college because of this huge, it's like a snake swallowing an anaconda. The bulge of people that wanting to go to college was just fantastic. Like the number of people wanting to come in and get health care now that they had insurance under Obamacare, a ridiculous bulge of people coming in. And people game the system. The government was right there to feed into it and enable people to go to college that had no right to go to college. And it all became like a really, really bad, vicious cycle of disaster.
Oh no, the schools knew what they were doing. They jacked up all the fees and the prices to suck up all that new liquidity from the free government programs. And the first thing they do is march the kids in to where they can borrow that money till they can't borrow one more goddamn penny. Then they get that piece of paper.
And then they get the goddamn fake trade schools with that bullshit training. It's useless. And all those colleges that have now folded up and blown away, that were just taking people's money and basically turning them out with nothing. You know, how to decorate a cake or whatever, you know.
Yeah. And I don't have anything against anyone that has pursued their education, that wanted to proceed. I mean, you know, better themselves. I think that's great. I just don't think that college is for everyone. I don't think everyone should go to college because, you know, if you know, like you said, Rosie, if you had 100 people and there was 100 jobs and everyone went to college, at some point the jobs are, you know, the job market is going to run out for that next group of people. And you know, if you go to any of your local stores like Walmart, McDonald's, I bet half those people got some type of degree or didn't finish, and now they owe, you know, those college tuition fees with no degree. And I work with people that have degrees, and they're working side by side next to me. Like, I went to college for years, and I can't find a job in that market that I went to, you know, go to school for. So
yeah, the other thing I liked, and I don't mean to cut you off, Red, but I don't want Midas' comment to slide by on the side chat there. And he's exactly correct. There's two outstanding comments over there. Midas Welby's and the vacuum let all the aliens enter the blue collar work scene. Exactly. By virtue of this push for government and this false sort of this false belief that we wouldn't have to make anything to survive or do well in the future. We just all go to college and read poetry under fig trees or something like that. So we don't need that. We don't need that kind of. We don't need that kind of effort anymore. Therefore, when a boom came, like in the '80s, and the construction boom happened, and finally things pick up again, there's nobody to go out there and do the framing. There's a deficiency of people that can put up sheetrock properly, and you know, and therefore the wage structure wasn't allowed to keep up with it because we had this influx of people coming up to get these jobs, and people looking the other way in government could care less because that was the way that they saw to solve the solution. So it kept everybody's wages artificially low. Have us out in California here competing with tons and tons of cheap labor that's in this market, and it just screwed up the whole system. The other thing is bullshit degrees. Like Parlov says, underwater basket weaving's one I always laughed about. And you know, you get out of college, and what do? You end up, and it's not. I'm not bitching about it, but you end up being a barista at Starbucks. And okay, maybe it's all right, you know, but you didn't really need to learn how to weave baskets underwater with you know, Iranian reeds or whatever, right? You didn't need that to do that. So
I like the degree title in bitterness studies. A bachelor's in bitterness studies.
or self-entitlement
with a minor in entitlement.
Yeah.
So for our economy to grow, you need a flavored, different kind of people out there. You need people that do welding, that do construction, that clean houses, that are doctors. I mean, you need a vast variety of people to run this country. Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a lawyer. You need guys that get out there.
That was a beautiful thing, though, before the government got involved in the 60s and 70s and created the Department of Education and all the disaster that we have today, where we're finally at the point we maybe have somebody can be appointed Secretary of Education to actually understand the way to reverse all this bullshit. But until the natural market worked its own way to feed people where their aptitudes were. Let me just refresh here. The market worked, so let me just refresh this.
Well, I work in industrial maintenance in a plant. You know, plastics. We make plastic parts. So I'm in industry, and my job is I'm the fix it guy. I'm the one that, you know, when the machine don't work, I'm the one that fixes it. I'm skilled labor, and believe it or not, there is a high demand for skilled labor in industry, manufacturing, what have you. I make good money. I'll never be rich, but you know, I make a good living doing what I do. Yeah, and I'm only a phone call away from another job. I am not worried about my job.
Yeah, I got real lucky. For me, I think the timing was everything. I joined the service in '86. They said, you want to be a radio tech? Got out in '91. You could still get a job at a local Motorola shop, actually fixing a walkie-talkie, fixing a mobile in a police car or a fire truck, get the soldering iron out, change the components, use some test equipment. And just towards the tail end of the '90s, when they started throwing everything away, is when the IT thing came along. And there were no schools for IT. You know, if you bought a computer and built it and could put two pieces of cable together and make one computer talk to the other, you're an expert. So I saw the writing on the walls. I said, this fixing radio shit, this is it. $300 handhelds, they're throwing them away. There's no future fixing these radios. I'm going to move over to this IT thing. And got in just before that big wave of all the certified system engineers and people with the master's degrees and stuff in computer science, because it really didn't exist yet. And that's all big coming out of the service. I don't think a lot of folks could do that today. So timing was good.
So I think that's what we're left with Trump now, is trying to get the people in place that can try to reverse a lot of these things. And he's got to work rapidly because the forces of opposition are mustering as we speak constantly. So.
Well, I think, unfortunately, I don't want to, you know, say our age, but all of us that grew up in the 70s and 80s that got into trades that, you know, not necessarily you needed a degree to get into, but we got in early and, you know, we built the foundation to be who we are, where we at. And, you know, I'm not saying that young kids can't do that today, but they may actually have to go to a trade school or something to get in to what we're doing. And I'm not saying you're going to be, like I said, you won't never be rich, but you'll have a guaranteed job. And that's more important to me than trying to get rich. I just want a guaranteed job. I can do the lifestyle I want. You know, maybe my expectations are low, but you know, I can go buy a gun, I can go shoot, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, go on vacation, blah blah blah, and I can do that with the skills I have. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I might be blabbling on.
Sounds rich to me.
I want to tell you guys, back in that day, there's a digital equipment tech mainframe computer back in 1975, 76. We thought that was a bomb. The only high school in Baltimore that had a computer, and that thing had to have its own air-conditioned room, and it was pretty amazing. Punch cards. That's what we all use. Punch cards.
Yeah.
I was on the back end of the punch cards, so I was when I started in the workforce. That was kind of dying out, but I got to experience a little bit of that. But I don't have any like craftsman or trade skills. I wish I did. I'm kind of picking that up now, just that I'm getting into projects. But yeah, I mean, I respect anyone that has some type of skill that can fix a car or build a deck or just you know, messes with like electronics. That's something that's lost, but you know, it's not impossible for the young people to learn. And one of the things I told Pop's Quest, I said, man, get your girls in there and show them the business, because at some point he's going to get old. And I mean, that'd be a perfect opportunity for them to learn hands-on and not have to go to school to learn that business. I mean, I can see one of those girls running that shop, and you know, as Pop gets older, but definitely pass that on. I mean, not every kid's going to have that opportunity, but if you can pass that on to a son or daughter or nephew, I say go for it. And I really regret not picking up some type of skill when I was younger. My grandfather was a painter his whole life. And now it's funny because now I'm getting into painting the signs that I do, but not certainly at his level. But, you know, I wish I would have picked up that skill when I at a lot younger age. So.
All right. I don't know what he done, but he dropped out. No, Rosie dropped out. I'm sorry.
Having bandwidth issues tonight.
Yeah, I think a few people are, and that happens. That's the experience you have with trying to do live chats. People have bandwidth issues. And,
You might be able to appreciate this, TR. I was such a dumbass when they were offering jobs when I was going into the service. One of them was microwave technician, and I was thinking, who would fix an oven? I had no idea what microwave communications was. I was thinking it was fixing microwave ovens, so I didn't put it down. Until I got to the comms unit and said, who are those guys? They're the microwave techs. They fix ovens? And they're like, no, there's a whole nother thing called microwave communications. I was like, shit, I could have had that job.
When I joined the Navy and enlisted, and I was going to be a CB, I didn't even know what a CB was. I was halfway through boot camp before I realized it was like, oh, that's a construction battalion? Okay. Young and dumb. I joined when I was 17.
Hell, I was happy.
I was 18.
I was happy to go. I first tried to join the Army as a Black Hawk helicopter crewman, maintenance guy, and failed the hearing test. And the Army rejected me. And I'm sitting in the reject pile at the MEPS, waiting to get on the bus to go home. And the Air Force recruiter came through and was going down the line. What's wrong with you? Lied. What's wrong with you? Drugs in my urine. What's wrong with you? Yeah, conviction. What's wrong with you? I failed the hearing test. She looks up my package and she goes, I can get this waived. You want to join the Air Force? I was like, hell yeah. Back to the front of the line, did the whole thing all over again. The rest was history.
Yeah, the chair force.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. Went to tech school, sent me to Germany, Then I went to Crete and got out. Never did a domestic assignment, never worked a weekend. I did 4 years, 4 months active duty, never fired a weapon. Because back then they had this Grand Rudman thing for a cost reduction. So they had the modified M16s with the 22 long rifle. So you get like 25 shots and you watch the video. And the guys with the red hats said, if your weapon jams, raise your hand, we'll fix it. I laid down in the prone position, pulled the trigger, it went click. Guy came over, popped a round out, and said, go smoke a cigarette. That's the last time I touched a weapon. Never discharged a round the whole time I was on active duty.
Oh, that's crazy. But anybody that, if you have young ones that want to join the military, I'm telling you, either push them toward Air Force or Navy. And this is somebody from, I was in the military and I was in Navy. Push them toward Navy or Air Force. If you, I'm just saying, Army, Marines, don't do it. Don't do it.
You're about to make a lot of friends there, TR.
Yeah, probably.
Is it because it's more laid back, TR, or that the chances of them being on the front line is less for the Air Force and Navy? I mean, that's what I heard.
That's exactly it. If I had a niece or a nephew that was wanting to join the military, I would not want them to join the Army or the Marines. If they wanted to serve their country, I would want them to go Navy or Air Force, because I don't want them to be on the front lines. I don't want them to hold M16. Even though me joining the Navy, the division that I joined, I was actually on the ground carrying the M16, but we wasn't an offensive unit, so we wasn't going after people. But I was on the ground carrying the M16. I just, right now, I don't think there's a worthy adversary that we're going after that I want any of our young people to go through. To their life is not worth the shit that's going on. That's all I can say.
Well, I could say this about the Air Force, TR. When we were coming home from the club, the Army was getting up to do PT. and many a Monday morning I said, I did the right thing. I was just crawling into bed, and they were grunting and running and cheering and flag waving. I was like, oh, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah, that flag waving would have gotten me.
And we had the same size rooms, so we had 2 guys per room. They had 4, and I'm thinking, I went back to that base. It was Ramstein in Germany. Went back 20 years later. Went down to the base and actually went to the old dorm and looked at the room. Yeah, when I was 19, it was huge. When I walked in there when I was 30, I was like, holy shit! How did we fit 2 people in this thing? Not to say 4. Army guys had 4 2 wall lockers divided. Each guy had a half and 2 bunk beds. Oh man.
Well, in my opinion, I enjoyed the service. One of my regrets, but a lot of the guys on the front line, they don't come back the same either because of just issues that they had, seeing the shit that they saw or just going through some of the stuff. It just really messed with their mind, and they're just not the same. So I can understand that, TR. Like you said, if you had a nephew or a niece, that you'd want them to go to the Navy or Air Force.
I think the motivations are different now. I mean, I joined in the 80s. All the commercials running in the 80s was join the service, learn a skill. There wasn't an expectation that everybody went to college. Rich kids went to college. You got out of high school. What the hell am I going to do? All the recruitment commercials were join the service. We'll give you 10 grand towards the GI Bill if you want to use it when you get out. It wasn't this endless pot of money that you can give to your kids now, this post 9/11 GI Bill. They took like $100 a month out for for the first year. So you put 1,200 in, you got 10 grand on the back end or something. It wasn't a whole lot of money. But the recruitment effort was, you out of high school, now go learn a skill. Welding, like you're saying, welding, plumbing, electrician, electronics technician, something. Do your 4 years, your 2 years, and then go get a job. Yeah, that's the program I grew up with. I can't speak for everybody in the 80s, but yeah, I wasn't even halfway finished with high school, and that was the schedule for me. Uncle's father, yep, you're going in the service, or you can join the union. That was the option my old man told me. Because you can go in the service, get a skill, come out, and he used to say, you can take the cops test. You take the cops test, you be a cop or a fireman. They don't pay much, but you get a lot of vacation. You go on hunting season. Or I can get you in the union. You'll make good money, but you don't get a lot of time off. I mean, that was the option. So,
you know, I was saying to my best friend was in the, my best friend went in the Navy, learned electrician, out doing great. 30 years is now a master electrician, making good money, union. I mean, he learned something. He came out with a real skill at it, a good start from the Navy.
And the movie Red Dawn was a good motivator.
I think it was Gimp Geek asked me what the difference between an Air Force and a Navy pilot was. A Navy pilot can land on a moving platform that is half the size of a normal, or probably even less than half the size of a normal landing strip. Those guys are good.
Yep. The other thing they used to say is an Air Force pilot immediately has to declare an in-flight emergency because the F-16 only has one engine.
Parlusk, what's up, buddy?
Not a whole lot. Hanging out.
We're glad to have you on here.
Yeah, I've been busy the past couple times we had it, so I just turned it on to listen to it.
I do the same thing, Carlos.
Yeah, how's your project going?
We actually, I filed for our patent. Our patent got accepted today, so we're patent pending. The patent website, and man, it's worse than the DMV.
I was going to say, what's the turnaround time they tell you for a patent?
We're looking at 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years before we get a patent. But we can claim patent pending up until that time.
Yeah, of course. I just think it's crazy, you know.
Yeah, especially the amount of money that they take from you, and then you wait for 4 years.
You got the
Plus, defending a patent pending is different than a patent. You know, so you're 4 years to wait till you finally get the upper hand.
So, are you going to take 4 years to release your product, or
no? Well, hopefully, I ordered 5,000 units of one piece that goes in. I got one more prototype that's supposed to be 3D printed. It's actually being 3D printed right now because I had to make a change. As soon as that comes in, as soon as I test that and it's good to go, I'm sending it back out for production, and we're looking at like 30 days, and we'll be full on production. We initially was going to do a crowdfunding, but when we got down and was looking at it, that would have put us another 30 to 60 days behind if we would have crowdfunded it. So we just scraped together everything that we could, pulled out of our kids' college fund, and said, let's burn the ships and go for it. So that's what we're doing.
I live in Virginia and have an AR-15. Do I want one of these super secret widgets?
I think anybody in the gun or prepping community, especially law enforcement, can benefit from what we have.
start making your contacts in whatever market that you're going to be in, as far as, you know, start making those contacts now and get them lined up, you know.
Yeah, I've spoken to I called Southern Prepper One like a couple days ago, and I asked him. I said, you know, do you care when we get going if I send one of these out, you do a review on it? And he's like, yeah, any way that we can help you, let me know. And I called, you know, I talked to Haas USMC. He's going to do a review of it, and that's probably what we're going to do is just send like 2 or 3 out for YouTube reviews. Once they come back, send, you know, 2 or 3 more out uh, for YouTube reviews, and that's the main way that we'll market it for probably the first year. And then we're looking, you know, after that, you know, maybe license it, but we'll push it heavy to retailers too. Once we get, you know, once we get 50,000 units sold, then we'll start talking to retailers. Because
Hey, help make TR's
Go ahead.
channel super big. Let him be the first one to put it on the YouTube.
There we go.
well, once we're shooting the promotional video Friday, and you know, he does a Tuesday night and a Sunday night, so I would say that we will have a you know, we'll be super close from the time we release it between Tuesday and Sunday, and I'll hop on and show everybody what it is and go from there. But I mean, it's not. I don't know if I've hyped it up myself, but a lot of everybody that I've showed it to that signed a non-disclosure seems to think it's an awesome item. It's not like revolutionary, like, you know, this is not like a revolutionary thing that's just absolutely like the end all, but this has potential to save people's lives, and it has the potential to give you an upper hand in a gunfight to get you home. So that's kind of what we're shooting for. Is, you know, this isn't the end all item, but this is one more tool in your toolbox that can get you home.
Well, whatever it is, congratulations to you. We wish you the best. Sounds awesome.
And Rosie, I just want to say something to you. I got a female friend just watching this chat right now, and she's enjoying watching your tatas.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, regards to you, sweetie. Thank you. Hop on the chat and say hi.
I just want to throw that out there.
I wish you the best too, Parl. I see, like I was there. I was on the last time you were on and you were talking about. I think it's really cool. You're like all in. You know, I like that. I like that when a business person to be goes all in and takes everything and grabs every dime and goes for it. Good motivation.
It's nerve-wracking, but I mean, it's one of those things. You know, I forgot what conqueror did this, but I think it was maybe in South America when they tried to conquer South America, and they had failed like 4 times in the past, and then they showed up and they had a fleet of like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 ships, and then once they offloaded, he had his majors pull the ships back out and burn them. And he said, you know, we're not going home until we get this done. And that's kind of the way that I look at it. Is, you know,
Yeah, that's really
you can't,
cool.
you might as well go all in. You might as well. If you're
That's a
going to
great
do it
motivator.
right.
Yeah, there's no. They burn the bridge behind you. That's it. We either keep and civilize this country, or we go home. We don't go home on our shields, but we're goners. I mean, that's a great motivator. You'd be surprised how the clarity of your thinking is in those kind of situations. That's great.
Yeah, I plan on having Parlusk on here Sunday night, and it'll be after he introduces whatever the product is. Nobody knows, but whatever the product is, I plan on having him here Sunday night and let him promote it, and we'll talk about it and see what happens. Hopefully it takes off, man. I hope you make $1 million off of it. I really do. I don't even know what the hell it is, but I want one.
I love success. I love success.
Yeah, we're hoping, you know, my business partner is actually a real good friend of mine, and he's been in a lot of businesses throughout his life, and the last one he had was actually he had the #1 online retailer of anything airsoft in the world. And he had a huge falling out with his partners, and I mean everything just imploded. They went from #1 retail airsoft retailer in the world to like just the bottom fell out because his business partners were screwing him, and then he went to after that he just got fed up and he went to just doing IT work, and then the place where he worked at got bought out, and we had been putting this on the back burner for a while, and he called me one day. We were moving forward with it, but not very well. And he called me actually it was in New Year's. And he said, "Listen," he said, "our company just got bought out, and there's a 60% chance I'm not going to have a job in a week because they're not going to pay me what I need. If you want me motivated, I'm motivated." So we buckled down from there on, and just we're hitting it hard. And
That's great.
so if anybody, we're on Facebook under Go Gauge Tactical, GOGAUGE Tactical, and also under Instagram. We don't have any. I mean, we have some posts on both, but we've not revealed. I mean, there's some hints on there, but you probably wouldn't be able to put it together. But that's all the anticipation.
All I can say is I want one, and if I don't have a gun that takes it, I'll go buy the gun.
I guarantee you most people will have a gun that this fits in. And if not, then you need to reconsider what guns you have. I'll just put it that way.
Dude, you've promoted this product and teased us with it for so long that we all gonna probably buy one, and we don't even know what the hell it is. If you did pre-orders right now, you'd probably have hundreds of thousands of sales, and we don't even know what it is.
You got to hold up. You got to hold up your poster, TR, and says, "Where does it go?"
We've sold 10 orders already, and I quit accepting orders because right now I can't sit down and keep up with orders, so because I got so much on my plate. So there's 10 pre-orders already done.
Can you give us a price range if that doesn't spoil the surprise? I mean,
I feel like we're on What's My Line. I feel like we're guessing like a pound.
Yeah, we're shooting, and this is another reason why it's taking a little bit longer. And we went back to the drawing board several times because we want to get the price down to where it's really affordable. We're hoping, like $19.95, $20.
that sounds reasonable. I don't want to hold you up to that. We're not going to hold you up to that. You said on TR's chat that it was $19.99. I'm just getting the ballpark.
No, I mean, when we sat down, we said, if we can't get this under $20, there's no use in doing it. So that's what we're gonna shoot for a $20 MSRP.
Okay, let me ask you a different question.
They're just saying, "What the fuck is it?" in all caps on the side chat.
All right, let me try a different question. Will it work on multiple platforms?
Oh, it can. This one right here is going to be specifically designed for one platform, but we've looked at making it for other platforms as well.
So there'll be different part numbers for different platforms.
Correct. Yes.
So it's not one super widget. All right, guys, it doesn't go on a rail. We've nailed it down a little bit. It's inside. It's not a flashlight.
Oh shit. Welcome to TR's Game Show Emporium tonight.
Hey, TR, Blue's out in the chat room.
Yeah, we wanted to.
Dude, I sent you a link.
Yeah, that's by design, by the way it comes.
He can't get that email in the cruiser.
There you go, Blue. I sent you another link.
We need to have a YouTube or a Google chat one night when Blue's on duty, and we just all like follow him around while he's on duty.
We want Blue to keep his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to
Kinda
see
help
that.
People in the back and shit
I
like
don't want to
that.
see all,
And I don't
all
want
the
to see
donut
that.
stops and shit, you know, all the donut stops in 7-Eleven.
The boss is funny about that shit. You know, he kind of like wants you to do what you're supposed to be doing, pay the mortgage and all.
Yeah, I want to make videos a lot when I'm at work and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because sometimes I do some really cool shit, you know, as far as moving equipment around and stuff. I did do one that could get me in trouble, but it's been a long time ago. Yeah, I climbed a 60-foot tower to go up there and clean filters.
That was a good video. That was a great video.
Well, thank you, Rosie. I appreciate it.
How old is it?
A
5
few
months ago, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
If it's going to get you fired, you might want to take that one down.
I don't think it'll get me fired because I had to do it anyway. I just strapped the camera on my head while I was doing it, you know.
Really cool.
Unless you're peddling the product for the boss, get him some sales.
I didn't mention the name of the company I work for. I've never said that. And there's nothing in the video that can pin me to the location. I mean, if the people that I work for watched it, they would know. But I'm just saying that, I didn't say anything about the company I work for. But it is just one of the things I got to do. Climb a 60-foot tower silo, and it was kind of cool video.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't climb towers as a radio
That's
tech.
almost as cool as the one where you showed us your cock.
That was at my house, so that was okay.
Legendary stuff.
I screwed up and texted a girl up here earlier today, and actually texted her my actual picture of my cock, and kind of screwed up. But anyway.
I'm glad they didn't have cell phones when I was growing up.
She
if there was
forgave
cell
me.
phones when I was in high school, we would be in prison.
I mean, in the analog world, we did enough stupid shit. We didn't need digital.
Yeah, back in the day, it was just, hey, watch this.
Yeah, I think we would have gotten in some serious trouble if we had the cameras like we did back in the day and all the stupid shit we did.
Well, you couldn't hide them. You had them at them on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Tethered to an extension cord into the wall.
A big red flashing light that you couldn't get to turn off.
Oh, this is before that. The camcorders actually, you put a VHS cassette tape in. The battery pack weighed the same as a 6-pack of beer.
You need a cameraman for that.
Yeah, our generation, I'd like to think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure our generation is the one that put a patent on the phrase, hold my beer, watch this.
Yep.
I remember my mother went to Montgomery Ward's and spent, I think it was about $1,500 on a camcorder for my sister's wedding, and it was the kind that rested on your shoulder.
Yeah, with the big extra probably pack below, or the big VHS taste that went in there. Oh man!
It had a carry case. It had extra batteries that we charged up the day of the wedding, and I think it did 2-hour VHS tapes. You could do 2 hour. You know, the machines would do 2, 4, or 6, but the camera would only do 2.
And then, like, you take a 30-minute or a 30-second shot, forget to turn it off and set it down.
That's it.
Then you go back and you have like 4 hours of it just pointing at the floor.
I call those the before times.
Well, I mean, those were the days that you didn't have, like I said, you didn't have a lot of choices back then. So, you know, you made the best out of what you did have. It wasn't 5 different choices of cameras out there.
We had training today at work, and we had to do these little critiques, and you had to make a comment. So I wrote down in the box, I felt uncomfortable because there wasn't a safe space provided. And sent it in because it's anonymous.
I'll tell you all that. I don't know. We all growing up. We had the what would they call it? Super 8 little film camera. That was it. Take the Super 8mm movies. Hear the thing there running. I guess you guys got no concept what I'm. Sit there with the projector and run the thing and that and slide.
Rosie.
I remember tube testers at the drugstore. The old man popping tubes out of the television, putting them in with like a Rolodex built into it. You pulled up the tube number and it told you how to set the dials, hook the clips up, push the button, good, bad. Then you went to the back and handed them the tube and they gave you a new tube.
Yeah.
Because the back of the back
store
cover on the TV was never turned on or was never put on because he was always putting tubes in. I sent TR a picture of the box of tubes. I found him. But my old man had all those tubes packed up in the back of the TV set.
Yeah.
With empty beer bottles. I was back there.
Yeah, but no, like Linda said, no sound on Super 8 movies. Yep.
Yeah, I tried to figure out how to transfer that over to my PC, and I probably can do it eventually. But yeah, Com sent me a picture of all the tubes, and I guarantee you Rosie would love to have that box of tubes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you just hold your phone up to the camera, TR.
Well, I can do that.
Send Rosie my email address, and Rosie, send me your address, and I'll put them in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, just let me know what it is, and I'll boot back your PayPal and also packing materials and all that. So
I don't need any money.
no, you're gonna get it back. Well,
all right, $5,000.
I'll figure out a way to do it.
I'll send it. There's a bunch of old tubes in there.
Yeah, put yourself on present.
Picture's probably not doing it justice, but
go higher.
Let me get it. Come on. Crap. There we go. All right. Anyway, it's a bunch of tubes. That's all I can say.
That's cool.
It's that, or I can range test them.
Yeah, why don't you?
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not going to focus in on it, but yeah, a bunch of tubes. And for anybody that messes with old radios and stuff like that, that is a, you know, prize pack right there.
I grabbed them thinking they're going to be ham radio related, but they're stereo TV radio related.
They're all. There's a lot more interchangeability than people believe on a lot of this stuff. So. I have all those old Sylvania manuals and stuff that you can cross-reference and use this tube in this app. Change out the pins on it, and do different things. So.
Hey, TR, sorry to cut in. I'm gonna cut out, but I'm gonna listen to the chat. I got some stuff I'm gonna work on one of my little projects, but before it gets late and I gotta go to bed, but I'll still be listening. And I want to say thank you for the invite, and everybody out there is chatting, doing a great job. And keep these chats going, TR. I mean, people listen, and Rosie and Carlos and Tom and everybody, y'all have a good night, and I'll be listening still. Okay.
All right, man.
Too, Red.
I can't wait to hear what your big reveal is going to be.
Yeah, Parless, I can't wait.
And
Ladies, man.
Blue 823, dude, I sent you an invite to your YouTube inbox. If you didn't see my comment, if you want to get in, come on in.
Actually, TR, I saw a comment in the side chat, something about doing paperwork, so he might actually be at work and can't join. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I think he's working night shift right now. So he was probably fucking with me when he said, "Hey, you started a chat without me." Yeah, he was probably messing with me. Well, Rosie, what do you think about the Dow hitting 20,000?
Yeah, should we buy stock?
No, I got a lot of no. I just don't see the value. You know, I mean, it's like valuations. I said this last time. Valuations are so stretched that there's no room for error in here. It's almost like you're a tightrope walker. And yeah, some people are going to make it across the Snake River, you know, but most of us are going to go down along the way. So if I can't, you know, I'd rather invest in natural gas and things like that right now that are rock bottom values, been down for years. There's just, as I said last time, when you look at the investment market and you look at the Dow, and I'm pretty convinced that the only way we're going to stop this is with popping it with an interest rate, a series of interest rate rises. But only in 5% of the history of the investment markets have we been this stretched on valuations. And I don't want to take a 5% bet. You know, I don't want to do that. I might lose another 10%. So what? I could end up saving 50, 60% of my money. So
what about silver? What about silver stacking?
Yeah, I like silver. I like silver. I love ammunition. I love that idea of buying ammunition. It always goes up. I like investing in guns too. I think that's always a good thing. I really like bags of United States silver, the face bags. I think it's just good to just keep putting that stuff aside. It's something that if you need to use it, nobody's going to have to think twice about it, as opposed to possibly handing them a gold bar, a 1 ounce bar. You know, Kelly Kapowski says silver could go back down to 6. Yeah, Kelly, Nadal could go to 100 too, but you know, we live in the real world here. So, yeah, actually bonds have been doing a little better lately. I mean, the bond market's acting like our economy's not for real right now. That's a concern to me. The bond market is always the truth teller, and long-term rates just refuse to move up here. So that's telling me.
We got this investment plan at work, and I get all my money in the bond market because I don't trust the stocks. But it's my only option: stocks or bonds.
They don't have a cash portfolio, huh? CD or another portfolio.
Nope.
Wow.
A mixed bag. No, it's federal government bonds or stock market.
Wow. Okay, that's really a tough choice, I'll tell you, because bonds are priced for perfection right now. I mean, how much lower can interest rates go? We've been dropping since 1980 and bottomed out about a year ago. So I don't see any upside on that.
I mean, well, I just don't have the balls to put it in the stock market because it doesn't feel right.
I wouldn't either. I'm just surprised they don't have a more conservative option that allows you to just sidestep for a while and at least maybe put 20%, 25% in stock and put 75% into CDs or something like that. It's like Linda says, and I agree, bond investors are far more educated and studious than equity investors. So they're not buying into what's going on right now, and that kind of concerns me. So, and I've accumulated silver, and I really like that idea of properly packed ammunition, and also stockpiling things like sugar and stuff like that. And you know, TR got me thinking about those big 5-gallon buckets of things. They make great storage for
Homer buckets.
Yeah, having some great supplies laid in that everybody would like to have.
When I was, geez, how old was I? It was back 2000 and before 2009. I had a business that I ran mostly on the weekends and some during the week, and then I worked Monday through Saturday as a mechanic. And it's like I had no free time whatsoever. But at the shop where I worked at, anybody that was needing money and needed to sell a gun, they knew that they could come by the shop, and me or the owner one would buy the guns. So I mean, it was every week somebody was coming by needing money, and we would buy guns off of them. And you know, I was working 6 days or 7 days a week because I'd work on the weekends with the business that I owned. And in 2009, I had a major injury to my hand, and ended up having like I think 6 or 7 surgeries on it. And I didn't work for almost a year straight. I still had my business, and my business partner ran it, but for almost a year straight, the only thing I lived off of was selling those guns that had accumulated, and I bought them at such a good rate that I didn't have to work for a year. All I had to do was just sell guns that I accumulated.
You know, a lot of if you think that you'll be around other preppers and maybe having a cooperative and self-defense and caring and an organization like that, it might not be bad to have specialize in just having tons of toiletries, toothpaste, and other kind of stuff, just to kind of, it might not be readily available for people. You know, razor blades, that stuff's real small, but it can be really valuable for
Well, I have to say, I don't have a 401k. I don't have any stocks. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong for this, but this is what I invest in. I have guns that I've like a HKP7. I paid $450 for it. It's worth about $2,000. Have ARs, AKs. I got an AK that I paid $250 for it. It's worth about $600 or $700. These are investments that I can see real value in, and they only go up. Even my a 22 semi-automatic that I have, a Ruger Mark II, I paid $160 for it. It's worth about $300 now. Now, granted, it was 20 years ago, but it's still doubled in price. You know?
Well, in the right situation, it's priceless. I mean, there is no, you wouldn't sell it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it could be the most valuable thing within 5 square miles. You know, I don't care if you're sitting on a gold mine. You know, at that moment in time, that weapon's the most valuable thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's my 401k investment. I'm investing in guns right now, even single actions.
Yeah, I like that.
This is the investments I'm doing. I'm buying as many guns and as much ammo as I can. This is my investment. One way or another, it'll gain value. It'll be worth more money tomorrow than I bought it for today.
Yeah.
I would like some more U.S. Eagles.
Some more what?
Silver Eagles. The Walking Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting ready to add
silver.
I'm getting ready to add another building out at the retreat. Running out of space.
I got nothing against silver. I buy silver too. What they consider junk silver, I just buy it for the content. you know, silver.
That's that'll be the most exchangeable silver when the time comes. It's good stuff.
I didn't mean to shut everybody up. I'm sorry.
That's a lot of silver.
I just invest in things that I know or have a tangible, you know, a tangible want. You know, people want this thing, want whatever it is. You know, silver, guns, ammo. I mean, not that I really trade ammo or guns actually, but you know, at the same time, I mean, I have turned around guns and made money off of them when I was in a tight spot. And that's not even in a shit hit the fan. That was just like, hey, I was in a tight spot and need money. And I made money off it.
I'm starting to wonder what toilet paper is going to be worth.
If you got a lot of women, it's going to be worth a shitload.
I got 3 daughters. And
Somebody, go ahead,
I got a crawl space packed with orange Homer buckets from Home Depot full of toilet paper. Rows of it. I'm thinking that's got to be worth a few bucks in the apocalypse. I got a gold bar. I got a roll of Charmin.
Yeah, you'll get rich off toilet paper.
And I got some Kleenex.
All that stuff will have value. I just wanted to answer, if you don't mind, TR, just add on the side chat. There's a real good question. Nobody's Hero says, can somebody explain the desire for junk silver? Well, it's not so much the junk silver, but you're going to need a medium of exchange when two things aren't, when people have things that aren't exchangeable, but yet somebody's willing to take the chance on taking what you do have in the hopes of exchanging it for something else. And you want something that's traditionally valued, and it's also traditionally something that can't be faked easily. In other words, you're not going to set up a minting press and start turning out the United States silver, 90% silver coins. You know, it's not worth the effort to do it. So you have ammunition to trade. The other person has ammunition. You don't want to trade. You have no desire, but maybe they have something else that you want, and all you have is that ammo and some silver. They're more likely to trade you because they know that silver is going to be very, what they call, fungible. It's going to be easily recognized and valued in the marketplace. So people are going to need some type of medium of exchange, and they're going to fall back on traditional historical ones of gold and silver, I believe, because of the intrinsic value of that. So all it does is provide an alternative currency. So if two people have things they don't necessarily need, but maybe one person wants to buy something the other has the silver, the other person would be maybe more willing to take that.
I think a good point to add to that, Rosie,
sure,
is having pre-64 silver coins that are weathered, exposed to the elements, not precious and clean, doesn't make you a mark. If you have 5 monster boxes of silver standing liberties in your crawl space and show up at a trading location, and you're the guy who shows up every week with a stack of nice shiny silver coins that never saw the light of day, most people have never seen them in circulation, you might make yourself a mark in that kind of environment. That's Jimmy. He always comes down with brand new shiny silver dollar coins. I think there's a big advantage to having junk silver.
That's a good point, Combs, because that shows you the intrinsic value. If you believe there's some people out there that would want to boost those holdings of your silver out there. Exactly. So that's why I say it's something, if you can low-key it, just the junk silver gets you as close to melt as possible without all the additional collector value that may erode probably will erode in a shit hits the fan situation. You're about as low as you can go, like TR is holding up there. About as low, they're called slicks. They're worn down. About as low as you can go and still have silver that's easily recognizable, easily traded, and easily and instantly valued. Very easy to do.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I prefer. That's why I prefer these old quarters. This quarter, I don't even know what year it is.
Standing Liberty quarter from 1916 to 1930, right there. So
yeah, I mean,
my old
go ahead.
My old prepper mentor told me, in a disaster, S.H.T.F, you don't want to be special and you don't want to be different.
yeah,
You take a bag of old coins someplace. Yeah, nobody knows if that's not your granddaddy's old coin collection. Times are tough. There's problems. Here's granddaddy's coins. You walk down there with gold coins, silver eagles, and tubes, shiny and new. You're going to be different and you're going to be special. And to use a programmer's term, you have now set the focus on you.
yeah, and I think also, yeah, that's exactly. You become a mark, whether you realize it or not. Nobody's hero says, "Do you think junk silver will ever be over face value?" It's over it right now. It's at 12 times, around 12 times face value. In other words, if you have $1 worth of, if you have 4 silver quarters like TR has, you go into a coin dealer and he'll give you $12 for those. So yeah, it's been over face probably since 1970, probably 1972. So
hey guys, I apologize. I got to jump out of here.
Okay, Combs, I sent you my address. Thank you very much. Okay, I messaged that to you.
So I'd like to say goodnight to the panel and everybody in the chat room. It's been great. And TR, once again, thank you for including me in your Tuesday chat.
Well, thank you, Combs, for coming in, dude. You have been awesome. I've enjoyed following you, and you're always welcome here.
Thank you, guys.
He's a good dude. I've been following him for a long time.
Very well spoken.
He knows more about fucking communications than I have a full blown ham license, and I guarantee you, he's forgot more shit than I know about having a ham license.
He was very nice to offer those tubes and things. That's great.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Me and Blue's been chatting with him here lately, and for somebody that actually has a pretty big channel, and to be in the prepping community, for him to interact with us, actually, I'm honored actually that he'll, mess around with the small channels.
Yeah, I just want to say we've talked about this before, and I'll just repeat this again. I mean, it's just really you and me here now, TR. But we've talked about before why silver makes such a great, I don't even want to call it investment. What would you call it, TR? A protector of wealth, a protector of value. Yeah. And I've used this example before that in 1929, you could take a silver dime. You could take 2 silver dimes and you could pull into a gas station and you could buy a gallon of gas in 1929. If you take 2 silver dimes today and you go to a coin dealer, you're going to get about $3, $2.75 to $3 for those 2 silver dimes. Now, you can go to a gas station and you can still buy a gallon of gas today with those 2 silver dimes. This proves to you that this metal has perfectly preserved and stored your purchasing power over time. Often it has the illusion of being underpriced and you should buy it. Other times it has the illusion of being overpriced and you should probably sell it, when it gets up around $50 or whatever. But it's been a perfect store of value as Southern Style and ZPD and the other people stay out there. It's perfectly preserved your purchasing power, which is all you really want your currency to do. is to be able to make sure in the future that you're going to have the same purchasing power that you've always had. And you can't think of many other things in life that over time, and I'm talking of hundreds of years, have perfectly preserved that purchasing power.
I had a good friend of mine recently. Unfortunately, his mother died, and he's come into a lot of money. And he asked me, you know, what should I do with this money? And you know, and I'm not an expert in financial whatever. You know, and I was like, look, if you can buy real estate, buy real estate. If you can't, go buy silver, gold, whatever you can get your hands a hold of to protect the value of that money. Because, like you said, Rosie, in 1930, if you'd stuffed away, you know, $50,000 in a mattress, the buying power of that money 20 years later, you actually lost money.
Now, ZPD says most counter people don't know what that silver dime is worth. No knowledge. I think only 2% of the people understand. But the point is, it's not to go to a 7-Eleven and it's pumping gas and say, here's, I want a gallon of gas or whatever. It's that there may only be 2% of the people know now, but in a shit hit the fan situation, the people that know what that's worth are going to exponentially explode overnight. Everybody's going to know. Everybody's going to know what a silver dime is worth or a silver quarter is. The knowledge is going to go so fast and so furious because that's going to be an immediately accepted mode of exchange and value for people that they will absolutely know what the value of that is fast. And if they don't know, they will sure as hell find out quickly. But the average person in a 7-Eleven, no. You use a coin dealer or something like that as an intermediary. My point was, when you have an intermediary that does have a fair value, you will get the fair value for that.
I keep, I don't buy silver and gold, but you know, if I run across junk silver, I pick it up. But a couple of actually last year, I went into a local supermarket, and I was just going through the shelves, and I looked down, and they had 25-pound bags of salt for $3.49. And I asked the manager, I said, "Do you usually keep these?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "We get them all the time. You know, we keep them in stock, and we always stock them." So over like the next 2 weeks, I went by there every day, and if they had a bag, I'd pick it up and seal it and put it away. And I probably got 250, 400 pounds of salt stored. And you don't realize how dependent you are on salt and sugar and flour and rice. And there's a lot of people that are not into prepping that's into silver, into gold. And I guarantee you that I can take a pound of rice in a shit hit the fan situation and get as much gold as I need.
Well, I can do you one. Well, you're already stocked up, so it don't matter. But hey, you can just go to a feed and seed, and you can buy a 50-pound block of pure salt for $5 or $6 at a feed and seed. And that's what I got.
That's a good thing, Parlusk. I agree with you. Non-traditional things to have that are very barterable and very, very valuable in a situation like that. Salt is a great one to have. Sugar, all that.
Yep.
Seeds is also something to put back, because about a year into it, people are going to need seeds big time.
Yeah, there's a good friend of mine that I work with. He's experimenting with tobacco and sharing the seeds with me, and we're trying to grow tobacco. First of all, I smoke, so it's good to have that, but it's also a really good bartering item to have.
Oh yeah, so people that are jonesing real bad, I guarantee you they'll trade more than what they probably should for tobacco, especially with alcohol too.
Yeah,
Similar same way with that.
that's why PR guaranteed me a spot at the table there. As long as I keep making the moonshine, it's all good. As long as he keeps lighting it and it keeps flaming up, it's all good.
Yep. Tobacco, booze, and what else you said there, Greg? I don't want to repeat it. Tobacco, if anybody don't know, tobacco, if you actually grow tobacco, it produces more seeds than, I mean, you could plant a 100-acre field with what one tobacco plant does. I mean, it is unreal the amount of seeds that comes out of it.
You just gotta watch picking it, especially if you have a whole lot of it. You'll get tobacco, or you'll get what they call tobacco poisoning, which is you're out there picking it and sweating, get all that nicotine in you.
Yep, that's true.
Tobacco sickness, I think is what they used to call it.
Yeah.
It's the same way too with pot and marijuana. That's why a lot of the cops that do the interdiction that go out and cut all the plants down, I mean, they end up stoned as can be, dragging all those plants out on their back, sweating.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that, but that would be another cash crop. I don't grow any. I'm just saying that, you know, when the shit hits the fan, that would be a good cash crop.
An excellent cash crop. Excellent cash crop.
It's, I mean, without getting into a huge discussion of it, I mean, the amount of stuff that you can do with it is just exponential with the plants, with the seeds, with the bud. I mean, there's so much you can do with hemp and with marijuana. It's really amazing plant, not just for its medicinal purposes, but for its textile purposes as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's screwed up that they are still, you know, banning hemp. We'll say hemp, you know, just far as, you know, the non-THC product. I mean, you can make so much paper, wood, rope, whatever you think of, you can make it with that. And our government's still kind of putting their foot down on it, even though it has no, I mean, hemp has no drug related, you know,
properties.
No, you can't get high on it. So why is it freaking banned? It don't make any sense whatsoever.
And it's so resilient too. I mean, it grows anywhere. I mean, it's not susceptible to disease and to pests. I mean, it grows in acidic soil and alkaline. I mean, you can grow it wherever.
I forget which one, and forgive me for this, but either the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, I think it's a Declaration of the Independence, was written on hemp paper. One of the two. I forget which one, but one of the two. So if you go to Washington and look at the documents, one of them, I don't know, I can't remember which one is on hemp paper, because they grew that shit back then.
I'm sure it was a money thing is why they outlawed it.
Yeah.
It had to be somebody owned a paper mill that did something with trees or something, and then they just outlawed it.
Yeah. Actually, you're probably right.
The prohibition ban had a lot to do with that too. It really wasn't. It had to do with, you know, just the consumption of alcohol. I forgot what it. I watched a big documentary and read a couple books on prohibition and how it wasn't really directly related to the consumption of alcohol. It was real, it had a lot to do with the fuel too, because the original Ford Model T was made to run either off of alcohol or off of gasoline.
Yeah. Blue's messing with me out there. I'm going to get to meet Blue here soon. I look forward to that.
Hopefully he's not a weird serial killer or anything.
Nah, I don't think he is. I think he's a pretty cool dude. I think we'll be okay. I hope he's meeting up with a bunch of YouTubers.
Puts the lotion on the skin.
Being he's a cop, I got a feeling he's probably okay. I'm gonna take him for his word. All right, guys and gals. It's a little early, but believe it or not, I got to go to work tomorrow. And since we're just kind of bullshitting around, I want to go ahead and end this, if that's okay with everybody. Is that okay with you, Rosie? All right. Let's go ahead and end this, and I'm going to let Parlus do an outro. And believe me, dude, I'll have you back Sunday night after you introduce whatever the fuck widget you made. You can promote the shit out of it.
Yeah, check it out on Facebook. Just search Go Gauge Tactical, and it'll come up. Give us a like. It's on Instagram too, and it'll be a couple weeks before we release it, but I will definitely jump on here as soon as I can and reveal it to the chat. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome anytime, dude. Rosie, would you like to do an outro?
Yeah, thanks for being on. Great to see you, Barbell, and I can't wait to hear what it's going to be. And of course, I wish you all the success. I know you work really, really hard, and you were all in with everything there. That's I admire people like that. Not a common commodity in today's world. So, thanks TR for another great chat. Thank you, Side Chat. A little bit different tonight, but very fun. Real good chat tonight. So. I do a Saturday night, 7 p.m. till whenever, usually 1 a.m. on the West Coast, 4 a.m. on the East Coast. So everybody's always welcome to come over and say hi. So thank you, TR. Thanks, Parville.
Well, thank you, Rosie. I appreciate you coming on. I'm off this weekend, so maybe I can come in and be a part of your show Saturday.
Always fun.
Anyway, sorry, I'm going to cut this off a little bit short. Not really, but just a little bit, and get some sleep. I got to go to work tomorrow, so I just want to say later, everybody, and thank you for coming by. Good night, everybody.